three important commands accessible through right-clicking in the scene. The first one is change type. Often you start with a node that you need in the moment, but then you decide that, you know what, maybe I would need another node. So what do you do normally? You delete that node, you add your desired node, and then modify that node. But there's a better way, and that is to right-click and choose change type. For example, I have here this animated sprite, and I would like to make this a simple sprite. I can just change type, sprite, and one thing to note is that changing from a type to another might not keep all your properties intact, depending on the change. Another important thing you can do by right-clicking in the scene panel is to group nodes together. So for example, look, I'm working here, I have these two nodes, and let's say I make a duplicate of this animated sprite, right? Yeah, I have a duplicate. Hooray! Good for me. But now, you know what? I would like to have these two nodes grouped so that I can move them in the future. So what do? Well, normally you could do something like add the child node, make it a node 2D, click on these two sprites, drag them underneath the node 2D, and that takes a whole bunch of time, which I could better spend watching some Netflix movies. Nah, that's a joke. I only watch tutorials. Now instead, what you can do is select the nodes you want to group, right-click and choose reparent to new node. And this is similar to the group layers in Photoshop. Now you choose your desired node, and just like that you have your nodes grouped. The third important command accessible by right-clicking a node in the scene panel is make scene root. Let's say you start with a node 2D, but later you add a, let's say, a panel, and you do some changes to that panel, right? And then, you know what? You think, I would like to have this panel as a root here, because this is going to be a UI element. So what to do? How do you do that? Well, turns out you just have to right-click and choose make scene root, and this suddenly becomes the root, and then you can further modify the structure of your nodes. A bonus useful right-click command is to right-click and choose open documentation, and that will open the documentation for that particular node type. That is very useful if you want to know how that node works, what are its properties and what are its methods. If you like this, then you will surely like the video about creating an animated sprite. Check it out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe if you want. If you don't want, then don't click subscribe, click the like button.